and welcome to Steve McDonald's Arts and Crafts, and what I'm going to be covering today is how to get rid of these little blemishes here on the top of something so that you can't see them. Now what happened was I obviously left before all the bubbles had come up out of this, and as a result the bubbles formed on the top and then set into the actual casting itself. Now I don't want them there, so I need to remove those, and this is how I'll do it. Please ensure though, whenever you're doing any drilling or sanding of resin, that you ensure that you wear a mask. This is the mask that I'll be wearing, and that you're in a well ventilated area, because resin dust is very dangerous for the lungs. So what I've done is I've drilled these out now using this little bit, and I just went in and literally drilled the little holes out so they're completely gone. And what you need to do now is ensure that this top bit is as clean as possible, because if you get any of this dust trapped in here, then you are not going to be able to get that out. It will just set into the resin as it is there, and you really don't want that. So what I've done is I've used a toothpick to get the dust out as best I can, and then I'm going to use a little cloth to get rid of that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Q-tip here, a tiny bit of alcohol, and I'm going to flood that with the alcohol for a few seconds. And then I'm going to get my Q-tip back in there as well and let that any of that dust stick onto my Q-tip. Make sure that whole top is clean. Because if it's not clean, you will not get that out. It will just look really bad. And then I'm going to go in it again with the wet side of the Q-tip. And then I'm going to get in there again with my dry side of the Q-tip to ensure that I've got as much of that dust, if not all of it, out as I possibly can. And then what I'm going to do is, with a piece of paper and this piece of paper towel, I'm just going to go in there again to ensure that I've got as much out as possible. So when you feel that you've got it all out, I will go over this and give it a little bit of a polish up, and that will be fine. And you can do this on coasters, you can do this on anything really. And then I'm going to take my resin, which I've allowed to thicken up quite a little bit, and I'm going to pop my resin into those holes to start with, to make sure that I don't get any more bubbles trapped in there. Then again in with my toothpick and release any bubbles that are in there, because I really don't want any more bubbles trapped in there. Bad enough having those through. And now I'm happy with that, I'm going to go over the whole top with about 1.5 millimeters to 2 millimeters of resin to ensure that there's an even, flat surface. And then as the bubbles in this rise to the top, I will go over it with my heat gun to ensure that, see, you can hardly see where those cutouts have been now at all with this clear resin on the top. And then what I'm going to do is make sure it's got to all the edges, And then I will go over the top of there with my heat gun to get rid of any last little bubbles that pop up. And then I will let it cure properly before I demold it. Now, if you've already demolded it, then you can still do this, because actually, as long as you don't put too much on the top, the surface tension of the resin will allow it to find its own level and not overflow on your project. So I'm just going to quickly pop over it with my air gun. And as you can see, it's already bursting a lot of those bubbles. And then we'll leave it again for probably about 4 or 5 minutes, and then do it again, and then it should be clear. So this has been curing now for 24 hours, and as you can see, those bubbles have completely gone that were on the top there, and they are absolutely non-existent, and you won't be able to see them. And it's just a great way of salvaging things. And you can do this on pours, you can do this on coasters, you can do this on anything that's resin. And it just works really well, makes it look a lot better. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share this video as much as you can to help my channel grow. Bye.